La Yashala to Israel. Imadium, which means to stand. Wapanya Hakwadam, which means turn and face to east. Sar. We're going to be starting off in the Lord with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malapaka, Taba'a, Ratazah, Kaya, Shaba, Ratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nadanla Nawa, Lakam, Kao, Yawam, Masalak Nawa, Kawab Wap Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawab Wat Yanawa, Wala Tabaya Nawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Habashaya Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wahatapara, Awalamyam Aman. In English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakat, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, Baba Kashai, Nathan Lanawa, Hakat, Larapa'ah, Kal Makala, Wakal Marawa, Hakat, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, La Aquium, Hamathium, Hakat, Awakawa, Hatamala, Lagar Sham, by Hashem Yahushai, the Wada Aman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wayashala, Waha, Bayat Saparia, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, by Hashem Yahushai, the Wada Aman. What we just said was, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yatan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamnika, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamar, Salaki, Yashamar, Kamakal Rai, Yashamar, Atnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaatka, Wabaaka, Ma'ita, Wa'ida, Walam, Aman. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al Damiyah Lakah, Al Thakarash, Wa Al Thashakwat, Al Kayahana, Al Wayabika, Yahama Yawan, Wamashanayaka, Nashaawa, Ra'ash, Al Amika, Yamayama, Sawad, Wayathiya Tazawa, Atazat Pawanyaka, Amawa, Lakawa, Wanakakita, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yashala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawai Tazawa, Lab Yakhadwa, Alyaka, Barya, Yakarathwa, Ahaya, Adawam, Wayashamalayam, Mawaba, Wagariam, Magabal, Waimalan, Salaka, Waimawan, Waimalak, Palashat, Am Yashabia, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadium, Kasayasara, Kayabian, Badnakal, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayan, So like I read that over. Bayanda Ra, Hayawa, Daman, La Dama, Shayatama, Nadiamwa, Kaira, Wakazaba, Wakazabak, Wakazamanai, Kauna Sayakamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Nawak, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagagala, Kakwash, Lapanya, Raka, Kaash, Tabaayara, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Aryam, Khan, Thuradatma, Basarika, Wabasawapatka, Dabahalam, Malaa, Panyaham, Kowan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaawa, Idi, Wayakaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Da, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Ka, Rataza, Aman. In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asa also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them, as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Ared, and like Zed, yea, are the princes as Zabah, and as Zamunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded, and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it. Okay, yeah, that's it. Sar, which means turn. Yeshabia, which means to be seated. We're going to be picking up where we left off last week, which is in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15, starting at verse 12. All right, let me get there in the Hebrew. Yep, Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 12. And we're going to be starting off in the Hebrew. Kaya, Mayakar, Lakayak, Ha'ai Baraya, Aiwa, Ha'ai Baraya, Salakia, Ha'ai Barayaha, Wa'ai Barak, Shasha, Shanyam, Wabasha, Na, Hashaba, Yaith, Dashala Kanawa, Hapashaya, Ma'ai verse 13. Wakaya, Dashala Kanawa, Kapashya, Ma'ai La'a, Dashala Kanawa, Rayaquam, verse 14. Ha'ai Nayap, Da'ai Nayap, Lawa, Mataza Anak, Wamagarnak, Wamaya Kwabak, Ashar, Bara Kakak, Yahweh, Alahayat, Dathan, Lawa, verse 15. Waza Karaf, Kaya, Ibar, Hayayath, Barataza, Matarazium, Wayapadak, Yahweh, Alahayat, Al, Khan, Anakaya, Matazawak, Ak, Hadabar, Hazaha, Hayawam. Verse 16. Waha Yaha Kaya Ayamar Alayak La'a Ataza'a Ma'ai Mak Kaya Ahabak Wa'ath Bayathak Kaya Tawab Lawa I Mak. Verse 17. Wala Kukwath Ath Hamaratazai Wanatha Ba'azanwa Wabadalaf Wahayaha Lak Ibad Iwalam Wa'ap Wa'amathak the Aisha Khan. I'm just making sure something's right. Yeah, Khan. Verse 18. All right. La'a Yakwasha Ba'ai Yanak Bashalakak Atwa Kapashia Ma'aimak Kaya Mashana Shakar Shakayar Ibadak Shisha Shanyam Wabarakak Yahweh Alayak Bakal Ashar the Aisha. All right. Verse 7. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 12 in the English. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. Verse 13. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, then thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress. Of that wherewith the Most High thy power hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. Verse 15. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Most High thy power redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. Verse 16. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee and thine house, because he is well with thee. Verse 17. Then thou shalt take an awl, and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. Verse 18. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he had been wrought a double hired servant to thee, and serving thee 6 years. And the Most High thy power shall bless thee in all that thou doest. You understand? This is showing absolute brotherhood in how we, as in the nation of Israel, you know, how we'd hired someone. You understand? Because you got blackety blacks that believe that the Bible is a so-called oppressor's book because of, you know, it teaches, they think the slavery in the Bible or someone being hired for work is the same slavery that our oppressor has done to so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians the past 500 years. And it's not. You just read that, you know, what slave back then would want to, you know, stay with the oppressor, getting whipped, getting beat, getting raped, you understand, being starved, all the horrible things that they done to us. What slave would want to stay with the oppressor? Now we defend the oppressor because we have Stockholm syndrome. But no slave is going to want to get, you know, have to work all day for free, eat scraps. You understand? Be put to death for trying to read. Nah, that's not what the Bible is talking about. This is talking about brotherhood and you hiring someone of your own nation that works for you, man. And you let them go after a while. But my point is what brother or sister will want to stay with a slave master who's abusing them and doing all kind of horrible acts. So, that's just not true. The slavery that you think that the slavery that we went through and the oppression that we went through is not in the Bible. You understand? And if another nation did enslave, understand, that was wicked. Like how the oppressor done us. You understand? Because we didn't listen to the Most High God. We thought it would be better joining our oppressor. You understand? All right. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 19. In the Hebrew. Call Habakawar Ashar Yawalak Babakwarak Wabataza Anak Hazakar Dakwa Riyash La Yahawa Alahayak La'a Da'aibar Babakar Shawarak Wala'a Dagaza. The guys, is it the guys? The guys or Dagaza. Dagaza Bakawar Taza Anak. Verse 20. Lapanya Yahweh Alahayak Da'aklanawa Shana Bashana Bamakwam Ashar Yabakar Yahweh Atha Waba Yadak. Verse 21. Wakaya Yahaya Bawa Mawam Pasak Awa Iwar Kal Mawam Rai La'a Dazabakanawa La Yahweh Alahayak. Verse 22. Bashai Rayak the Kalanawa Hata Ma'a Wahata Hawar Yakadawa Katazabaya Wakalaya Salakia Wakal Yala. Verse 23. Rock Ath Damawala the call Al Rataza Dashapa Kanawa Amoyam 16. Deuteronomy 16 verse 1. Salakia. Shamawar Af Kadash Ha Abayab Wa Aishayath Pasach La Yahawa Alahayat Kaya Baka Rash Habayab Hawa Taza Yaak Hawa Taziyak Yahweh Alahayat Mama Taza Riyam La. Verse 2. Wazabakath Pasak La Yahweh Alahayak Tazawan Wabakwar Bamakwam Ashar Yabakar Yahweh Lasha Bawak Lashaban Lashaban Shamwa Sham. Alright. Deuteronomy chapter 15 verse 19 in the English. Salakia. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock thou shalt sanctify unto the Most High thy power. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. Verse 20. thou shalt eat it before the Most High thy power, year by year, in the place which the Most High shall choose, thou and thy household. Verse 21, and if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind, or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Most High thy power. Verse 22, thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Verse 23, only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof. Thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water. Verse 6, chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Most High thy power. For in the month of Abib, the Most High thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Verse 2, thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Most High thy power, of the flock and the herd, in the place which the Most High shall choose to place his name there. You understand? So wherever the Isupk and the Commander General Yohana, wherever Commander General Yohana says the Passover is, that's where the Passover is going to be. You understand? Whatever month, so like wherever when we're in the correct season, and whatever day that Commander General Yohana says that the Passover is, that's where the Lord's Passover would be, because Commander General Yohana is the leader of Israel. You understand? Up under the Most High in Christ. He is the leader of Israel. So therefore, what he says is where the Passover would be, the location and the day. You understand? And give the Lord the hand, you know what I'm saying, for destroying all those Africans, those Egyptians that was oppressing us out of Egypt. And he heard our cries, and he heard us in Egypt, and he sent Moses to lead us up out of captivity. You understand? And that's why we celebrate the Passover. Just the other day, I was leaving the grocery store, and some brother, some Christian, came up to me. You understand? I thought he was a Jehovah's Witness. He may have been. I don't know. The brother had a clean shaved face. He talked real soft and feminine, and he asked me, did I know about the Lord's Passover? And I said, yeah. The Isupk keeps the Passover every year. And he said, well, what do you mean by the Passover? I said, the Passover that's in the Bible. You understand? And he said, do you know about Jesus Christ Passover? So I was like, oh, okay, here he's about to go into some Christian rhetoric that makes absolutely no sense, which I didn't have time to talk to the brother, but they think the Lord's Passover is just eating, that bread and wine. He said because Jesus didn't eat lamb, and Jesus didn't do the Passover that was in the law, and blah, 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 blah. Jesus didn't sin. That's what I told the brother. So he did the Passover exactly how Moses kept the Passover. You just don't understand the Bible because you're a Christian. You understand? But long story short, we are supposed to, I told the brother, we're supposed to keep the Lord's Passover. Christ himself was the sacrifice. So there's no need to sacrifice animals anymore. We just rehearse the righteous acts. So we eat lamb. We do everything that the law says to do. You understand? Unleavened bread, lamb, wine. We do the exact same thing. But we understand that Christ was the sacrifice. That we don't have to sacrifice the lamb or the goat in order to repent. Because it was a time where Israelites were cut off if you sinned. You wouldn't be able to celebrate the Passover again in life if you missed one. You wouldn't be able to celebrate the Passover if you were an adulterer. You understand? You wouldn't be able to celebrate the Passover if you sinned and were cut off from your nation. So that's why Christ came back to redeem his people, so we can become, so we can once again follow the Most High God in righteousness. You understand? So yeah, the Passover is what we celebrate. And also, we don't celebrate birthdays. We don't celebrate Christmas. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving. What's this holiday about to come up? Halloween. We don't celebrate any of these holidays that our oppressor gave us, or any holiday in any other book, your birthdays, any of that garbage. We celebrate the Lord's high holy days and feast days here in the Isupk. And if you're so-called Black, Latino, or Native Indian, you should be celebrating the Lord's high holy days and feast days as well. You can come join the Isupk tomorrow for the feast of the blowing of the trumpet, which is tomorrow at sundown. And you understand, if you're here in Kansas City, If you're in New York, if there's any city or state or country that's celebrating the Day of Atonement, Salaki, not the Day of Atonement, that's after. But the Feast of Blowing of the Trumpet, if you're a Black, Latino, Native Indian, feel free and feel welcome to celebrate that holiday with the ISUPK and the Commander Junior Hana, man. You understand? So we're going to keep moving on. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 3 in the Hebrew. La'ah, ta'akal, alayan, alayawa, the matazah, daba'aith, yam, ta'akal, alayawa, matazawath, lakaka, lakam, salaki, lakam, ainanya, kaya, baka, zawan, yataza, ma'arataza, matazarayam, lama'ain, dazakar, da, yawam, tazadak, ma'arataza, matazarayam, kal, yamya, kayayak. Verse 4. Wala'ah, yara, lak, sha'ar, bakal, gabalat, shaba'aith, yam, wala'ah, yalayan, man, habashar, ashar, daza baka, ba'ai rab, ba'yawam, hara shawan, labakor. Verse 5. La'ah, dawakal, lazabak, hapasak, ba'akar, sha'irayak, ashar, Yahweh, alahayat, Nathan, lak. Verse 6. Kaya, al, hamakwam, ashar, bakar, Yahweh, alahayat, lashaban, lashakan, lashakan, shamwa, sham, dazabak, hapasak, ba'irab, kabawa, hashamash, mawa'id, tazadak, mamatazarayam. Verse 7. Wabashalath, wa'akalath, bamakowam, ashar, yabakar, Yahweh, alahayat, bawa, wapanyath, babakwar, wahalakath, la'ahalayak. Verse 8. Shishat, yam, da'akal, matazawath, wabayawam, hashaba ya'aya, itazarath, la Yahweh, alahayat, la'ah, the Aisha, mala'aka. Malaka. Verse 9. Shaba'aith, the Sapor, Lot, Mahakal, Karamash, Salaki, Karmash, Bakwama, the Kal, La Sapar, Shabai, Shabaiwa. All right, that's 7. All right, in the English, Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 3. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. So after the Passover, sundown is when the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts for 7 days. Sundown, 7 days. So sundown, 7 days after the Passover. 7 days later, sundown. At sundown, the Feast of Unleavened Bread is over. So if brothers and sisters are traveling to the Passover, just keep that in mind if you're traveling. If you're going to be gone away from your house, you might want to remove all the leaven out of your house before you leave the Passover, because you don't want to come back and have leaven in your house. You understand? And the reason all the leaven is removed from your house, so you won't be tempted to eat it, or you won't eat it by mistake. And most importantly, back in ancient days, if the law, meaning the priest, came to your house and they seen leaven in your house, you would be guilty of eating leaven, because it was supposed to be removed. You understand? That would be unlawful in their eyes, in their sight, in their judgment. So the wise thing to do would remove the leaven from your house so it won't be around. You understand? So take it, everything, the bread, the flour, the cereals, the tortillas, take everything out of the house and remove it. Put it in the trunk, lock it away somewhere. You understand? Put it somewhere where it's not in the house and you don't have access to the leaven. You understand? So sundown after the Passover for 7 days until sundown. You understand? The Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is going to go into verse 4. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days, neither shall there anything of flesh, which thou sacrificest the first day at even, remain until night, until the morning. So you know what that's saying. You know what I'm saying? There's no leftovers. So everything that was cooked at the Passover should be done. You understand? You're not keeping the leftovers. That's done. Whatever was sacrificed that day for the feast wouldn't be eaten the next day. You understand? Verse 5. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Verse 6. But at the place which the Most High thy power shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. So the season that we came forth out of Egypt, you understand, which was around Abib, like the Bible said. So that's why we celebrate the Passover, because the Lord wants us to, the Lord wants us to remember us coming out of Egypt and everything he done for so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. That's why we celebrate these. That's why I don't want to say celebrate. That's why we keep these feast days and high holy days, because it's our culture and it's our history, and the Lord commanded us. So, like I said, you're not supposed to keep the Passover like some fake Israelite, wherever you want to have the Passover, at your kitchen table, you understand, at the park. You're supposed to have the Passover wherever the Lord tells you to have the Passover. And wherever the Lord tells you to have the Passover is whatever Commander General Yohanan says, because since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge has been teaching the truth to so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, man. You understand? We are that school. We are the reason, and we're that school that all these, that everyone knows that they're Israelites, that everyone knows that keeps the high holy days, that our oppressor is the Edomites, that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians are Israelites. We are that school that the Lord ordained and put in charge under Commander General Yohanan. You understand? So wherever Commander General Yohanan says the Passover is, that's where we're going to keep it. So you shouldn't keep it in your basement. You shouldn't keep it at the park. You shouldn't keep it at the apartment that, you know, whatever fake Israelite group you're in, y'all come together and say you keeping the Lord's Passover. You're not keeping the Lord's Passover. You're not. Because we're supposed to come together as a nation, as Zephaniah 2:1 says. We're not supposed to be coming together in different Israelite groups and keeping the Passover on different days, and then we're all saying we're keeping the Lord's Passover. That's not biblical. That's not what Christ did. That's definitely not what the Lord. He didn't put some people over here in this land and put some people over here in this land and some people over here in this land and tell them to keep the Passover, wherever I put you. He said, nah, man, y'all gonna come together as family, as brothers and sisters, and keep the Passover wherever I tell you to keep it. You understand? Verse 6. Oh, Salakia, verse 7. And thou shalt roast and eat in the place which the Most High thy power shall choose. And thou shalt turn in the morning and go into thy tents. Verse 8. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Most High thy power. Thou shalt do no work therein. So a solemn assembly means we're going to come together after the feast is done, and we're going to have a feast. So like after the feast of unleavened bread is done, and we're going to have a feast. You understand? The feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt do no work therein, meaning it's a Sabbath. It's a day of rest. It's a day we're going to come together and feast as the Most High God commanded. Just like this Sunday, tomorrow at sundown is going to be a feast for the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. You understand? Verse 9. 7 weeks, Salakia, 7 weeks shall thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. You understand? Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 10, in the Hebrew. Wa'aishayath kag shabai wath la Yahweh alahayat masath nadabath yadak ashar the than ka ashar yaba Rabarakak, Yahweh Alahayat, verse 11. Washama Kath, Lapanya, Yahweh Alahayat, Atha, Nabanak, Wabathak, Wa'ai Badak, Wa'amathak, Wahalawa, Salakia, Wahalawaya, Ashar, Bashayriyat, Wahagar, Wahayadawam, Waha'ala Manah, Ashar, Bakwarabak, Bamakwawam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh Alahayat, Lashakan, Shamwa, Sham, verse 12. Wazakarath, Kaya, Ibad, Hayayath, Bamataza Rayam, Washamarath, Wa'aishayath, Hakakoyam, Hala, verse 13. Kag, Hasakath, the Aisha, Lak, Shabaith, Yam, Ba'asapak, Magaranak, Wama Yakwab, Wama Yakwabak, verse 14. Washamakath, Bakagag, Atha, Wabanak, Wabadak, Waibadak, Waamadak, Wahalaya, Wahagar, Wahayadawam, Wahala Mana, Ashar, Dasha I Yarak. Verse 15. Shabaith, Yam Yam, Dakag, La Yahweh, Alahayat, Bama Kwam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Kaya, Yaba Rayak, Rabarakak, Yahweh, Alahayat, Bakar, Dabawa Adak, Wabakar, Ma'aisha, Yadayak, Wahayayath, Ak, Shamak. Verse 16. Malawash, Pa'ai Mayam, Bashana, Yara'ah, Kal, Zakarayak, Panya, Yahweh, Alahayat, Bamakwam, Ashar, Yabakar, Pakag, Hamatazawath, Wabakag, Hashabai Wath, Wabakag, Hasakawath, Wala'ah, Yara'ah, Panya, Yahweh, Rayakwam. Alright, in the English. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 10. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Most High thy power, with the tribute of a freewill offering of thine hand, with thou shalt give unto the Most High thy power, according as the Most High thy power hath blessed thee. Verse 11. And thou shalt rejoice before the Most High thy power, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Most High thy power hath chosen to place his name there. Verse 12. And it's like, I just want to make one point. This is how you prove that the strangers in the Bible, according to the context, are talking about Israelites. You understand? Like it said right here, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow. Those are people that are not in the ISUPK that come to the Passover, because everyone's invited to the Lord's Passover if you're so-called Black, Latino, or Native Indian. So you might have a brother or sister who's interested who comes to the Passover. We haven't seen this brother or sister before, but we know that there's an Israelite. So they're a stranger because we don't know them. So not stranger, don't be a Christian, and don't, quit trying to save everybody and think that the stranger is talking about some white man or some white women, or you understand, or some Hamite, some African, or some Arab. That's not the strangers, man. You understand? It's talking about your brother who you don't know, who you never met before, or some sister you don't know who you never met before. That's the stranger in the context, in the correct context. You understand? Verse 12. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe and do these statutes. Verse 13. And thou shalt observe the feast of tabernacles 7 days. After that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. Verse 14. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger and the fatherless, and the widow, and that are within thy gates. Verse 15. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Most High thy power, in the place which the Most High shall choose, because the Most High thy power shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the work of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. Verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thy male appear before the Most High thy power, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Most High empty. You understand? So like you. All right, we're going back to the Hebrew. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 17. Ayash, cometh the nath, Yakawa, Yadawa, Yadawa, Kabarakaf, Yahweh, Alahayak, Ashar, Nathan, Lak, verse 18. Shapatium, Washa Tarayam, Dathan, Lak, Bakal, Sha'ai Rayak, Ashar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Nathan, Lak, Lasha Batat, Lashabat Yak, Lashabat Yak, Washa Patwa, Washapatwa, Ha'ain, Mashapat, Tazadak, verse 19. La'ah, the ta, Mashapat, La'ah, the kayara, yara, panyam, Wala'ah, the kwaka, the kad, kaya, hakad, ya I war, ayanawa, ayanaya, hakamayam, waya salap, deborya, taza de yaquam, tazadak, dara dap, lama ain, dakaya, wayara shaf, abda, harataza, ashar, Yahweh, Alahayat, Nathan, Lak. Verse 21. La'ah, the tai, Lak, Ashara, Kal, Aitazah, Atazal, Mazabak, Yahweh, Alahayak, Ashar, the Aisha, Lak. Verse 22. Salaki. Wala'ah, Dakoyam, Lak, Matazabah, Ashar, Shana'ah. Salaki. Yahweh, Alahayak. Deuteronomy 17, verse 1. La'ah, Dazabak, La Yahweh, Alahayak, Wa Shawar, Washa, Ashar, Yahayaha, Mawa, Mawam, Kal, Dabar, Ra'ai, Kaya, Dawa'ai, Bath, Yahweh, Alahayak, Hawa'ah. Alright. In the English, Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 17. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessings of the Most High, thy power which he hath given thee. Verse 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Most High thy power giveth thee, throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Verse 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteousness. Sounds like the Christian church. You understand? Taking gifts and blinds the eyes of the righteous, because the Bible says a gift destroyeth the heart. And that's all the Christian church is about, giving gifts, being blessed, and not judging just or judging righteously, but judging because what's popular, or because of what gift you receive. You understand? Just like our oppressor. Salakia. Verse 20. That which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Verse 21. Thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Most High thy power, which thou shalt make thee. Neither shalt thou set thee up any image which the Most High thy power hateth. Deuteronomy 17, verse 1. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Most High thy power any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Most High thy power. All right, back to the Hebrew. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 2. In the Hebrew, Kaya Yamatazaa Bakwa Rabak Ba'akak Ba'akad Sha'ire Yak Ashar Yahweh Alahayak Nathan Lak Ayat Ayash Awa Asha Ashar Ya'aisha Ath Harai Ba'ire Ba'i Yanaya Yahweh Alahayat La Abar Baraya Dawa. Verse 3. Wayalak Wayai Bad Alahayam Akarayam Wayashad the Kawa Lahom Wala Shamash Awa Laya Rak Laya Raka Awa Lakal Tazaba'a Hashamayam Ashar La'a Tazawa Yadawa Tazawa Yathya. Verse 4. Wahagar Lak Washama'ith Wadarashath Hayata Wahanaha Amath Nakawan Hadabar Na'aishita Hadawa Hathawaiba Hazaath Bayashala. All right, verse 5. Wahawatazaath Ath Hayash Hawa'a Wa'ath Hasha Hawa'a Ashar Aishwa'ath Hadabar Hara'ai Hazaha Al Sha'iriyak Ath Ha'ayash Awa Ath Ha'asha Wasakwalath Hasakwalathum Babanayam Mawathwa. Verse 6. Al Paya Shanayam Aidayam Awa Alash Shalash Aidayam Yawamath Hamath La'a Yawamath Al Paya Aid Akad. All right, verse 8. Kaya Yapala Mamak Debar Wamashapat Kayan Dam Ladam Kayan Dayan Ladayan Wabayan, Nagai, Lana Gai, Debaria, Rayabath, Basha I Rayak, Wakwamath, Wa'ai Layath, Al, Hamakwa Wam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Alahayat. All right, in the English, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 2. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Most High thy power giveth thee, man or woman, that have wrought wickedness in the sight of the Most High thy power, in transgressing his covenant, verse 3, and have gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded, verse 4, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel, verse 5, then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die. Verse 6, at the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses, Salakia, at the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of one witness he shall not be put to death. Verse 7, the hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people, so thou shalt put the evil away from among you. Verse 8, if there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up unto the place which the Most High thy power shall choose. Alright, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 9, in the Hebrew. Waba'ath al ha-kahanayam halawayam wa'al hashapat ashar yahayaha bayamayam bayamyam haham wadar rashath wahaga Wahagadayawa, Lak Ath, Debar, Hamashapat. Verse 10. Wa'aishayath, Al, Payah, Hadabar, Ashar, Yagadawa, Yagadawa, Lak, Man, Hamakwawam, Hahawa'a, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Rashamarath, La'ai Shawath, Kakal, Ashar, Yawaradak, verse 11. Al, Payah, Hatharawa, Ashar, Yawarawak, Wa'il, Hamashapat, Ashar, Marawa, Lak, the Aisha, La'ah, Dasawar, Man, Hadabar, Ashar, Yagayadawa, Lak, Yamayawa, Washama all, verse 12. Waha Ayash, Ashar, Ya Aisha, Baza Dawan, Labalataya, Shamai, Al, Hakahan, Ha'ai Mad, La Sharaf, Sham Ath, Yahweh, Alahayak, Awa, Al, Hashapat, Wamath, so like it, Ha'ayash, Ha'awa'a, Waba'ai Rath, Harai, Mayashala. Alright. Verse 13. Start that now. Salakia. This app is, there we go. Damayam, Dahayaha, Aim, Yahweh, Alahayat. Verse 14. Kaya, Magawayam, Ha Allah, Ashar, Atha, Yawarash, Awatham, Al, Ma'ainanayam, Wa'al, Kwasamayam, Yashamaywa, Ma'atha, La'a, Khan, Nathan, Lak, Yahweh, Alahayak. Verse 15. Not the Nabayah, Makwa Rabak, Ma'akayak, Kamanaya, Yakwayam, Lak, Yahweh, Alahayak, Alayawa, Mashama, Iwan. Alright, in the English, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 9. And thou shalt come unto the priest, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall shew thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Most High shall choose shall shew thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee. Verse 11. According to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall shew thee, to do right hand or to do left, or to the left. Verse 12. And the man that will do presumptuously, and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Most High thy power, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. Verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. Verse 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Most High God shall choose. From among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. You understand? So that means you can't go out and vote for Barack Obama, for Donald Trump, for Joe Biden, because those are strangers. Now, those strangers are heathens because they're not your brothers. You understand? That's in the proper context of stranger. These men that we vote, when we go out and vote Republican and Democrat, those are different nations. Those are different, nations of people. Those are heathens. And you're not allowed to set a heathen or someone of another nation above your own people or above yourself. That's a sin according to the Most High God. And that's why we shouldn't go out and vote for anything when it comes to our oppressor's kingdom. You understand? And with that, I add him. Me up here, which means to stand. La Yashala to Israel. Alright. Imadium, which means to stand. Salaki, to stand. Wapanya Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. Sar. We're going to close out with the Lord's prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malabaka, Daba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nadan Lanawa, Lakam, Kao, Yawam, Wasalak Lanawa, Kawap Wap Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawap Wat Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Manasaya Wan, Abal, Hawashaya Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wahatapara, Awalamyam, Aman, in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakat, the power in the Hebrew, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, Baba Gashai, Nathan Lanawa, Hakat, La Rapa'ah, Kal Makala, Wa Kal Marawa, Hakat, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, La Aquium, Hamatium, Hakat, Arbakawa, Hatama'ala, Lagar Shan, by Hashem Yahushai, the Wada Aman in English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against the unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shemar, Gahana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shabamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemar, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakayaka, Wayarak, Balayalaw, Yahweh, Yashamar, Kamakal Rai, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Zazaatka, Wabaatka, Maitawa, Ida, Walam, Aman. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Oh, Salaki. I think did I skip one? No, that's right, Salakia. Yeah, that's not right, Salakia. So forgive me 1 second. All right, before we were supposed to read Psalms, I was supposed to read this, Salakia. Prayer to bless Israel, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wayashala, Waha, Bayab Saparim, Barak, Rapah, Magan, Hagan, by Hashem Yahushai, the Wada Aman. What we just said was, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. All right, I read Psalms 121. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, al damayalaka, al pakarash, wa al tashakwat, al kayahana, o yabika, yahama yawan, wa mashanayaka, na sha'awa, ra'ash, al amaka, yama yama, sawad, wa yatayai tazawa, al tazap pawanyaka, or mawa, lakawa, wanakakira, magoya, wala'a, yazakar, sham yashala, aiwad, kaya, nawai tazawa, lab, yakadwa, Auyaka, Baraya, Yakarathwa, Ahaya, Adawam, Wayashamaoyam, Mawaba, Wagaryam, Gabal, Waimawan, Waimalat, Palashat, I'm Yashabia, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawaz, Awai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadium, Kasayasara, Kayabian, Banakal, Koyashwan, Neshamadwa, Bayan, Salakia, Shayatamwa, Nediyamawa, Kaira, Wakazaba, Wakazabat, Wakazamanai, Kaunasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Omawa, Nayarashal, Lanawa, Nawawaf, Salaki, Alayam, Alahaya, Shayatama, Kagagala, Kagwash, Lapanya Raka, Kaash, Debarar Yara, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Haryam, Khan, Deradatma, Basaarika, Wabasawapatya, Debahalam, Malaa, Panyaham, Kwawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaawa, Idi, Wayakaparawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kayata, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al, Yawan, Al, Kal, Rataza, Aman. In the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asa also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them, as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, and like Zed. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zamunah, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded, and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Sar. And that concludes the Sabbath service. All right. Class dismissed.